Have no fear. God will cleanse us of evil.
Down into the catacombs I descended.
May the great flames guide thee.
My blade, Virgo, the embodiment of the cleansing flame, laying waste to those that refuse to remain dead.
Brave soul who fears not death.
And the heretic necromancers, from whence they came.
Don't get yourself killed.
My holy mission, to seek out the demon brought forth by rituals of blood and bone.
The nice thing about weapons, they never betray you.
And by cleansing fire, return it to eternal damnation.
The demons hunt down men and claim their souls.
I, Mordecai, of the Order of the Cleansing Flame, will fell this demon by my hand, and with his strength, by my blade. With God's own power, I attacked. My sword dealing blow after blow. The demon was strong, chanting, deafening. Pure darkness. As it roared with rage, the whispers began to creep into my mind. But this couldn't stop me from the dance of combat. Darkness could not stop the light of my blade. Hours passed, or so it seemed. My strength never wavered. For God is my strength. The demon grew weak. The blows had taken their toll. Bloodied and battered though I was, nothing would stop my holy mission. Back to hell with you, demon. By the strength of God, it had fallen. Praise be to him. May his flames guide me, and my blade strike true. Many moons had waxed and waned since that mission of cleansing. To my home I returned, though my home it had not remained. The locals declared their violent intent, and I dispatched them quickly, my holy vengeance burning without respite. Entering therein, the floor gave way to a cancerous underbelly. A demon of towering size waited to glut upon my corpse. No meal was to be had this day. He fell before my blade of retribution, as none can withstand its embodiment of holy flame. Surging forth, I cleansed the asylum. Darkness had claimed the land, the dead finding no rest and donning arms instead. Such work could only be of hell. It befell upon me, and the oath I upheld to begin the cleansing inquisition of the land. Though my body ached for rest at my former abode, my soul knew there would be no rest until the dead returned to their own. And so, I headed out. Long, weary, and arduous is the road ahead, but with divine strength I shall see it through. Onward then, into darkness. The Inquisition was to be sounded by the bells of cleansing. That would be my first stop. The land was steeped with the stench of undead. My judgment would be swift. None shall remain uncleansed amongst the coming fire. I offer myself fully, and am up to the task. I knew what awaited me in this town. Still, my blade knew no hesitation. Seeing such heresy wield weapons was disconcerting. This is no minor incursion. How long had I been away at war? I pressed on, house to house, room to room, eradicating the filth. Undead archers in towers, some wielding swords, spears, and shields. My amazement was only topped by my disgust. Another dark night such as those at the asylum. What a specter of hell, a vile construct. More formidable to be sure, but no match. From the tower basement came noises I shudder to remember. Steeling myself, I headed down. A true champion of hell awaited locked away. My blade plunged into his back time and again before he stayed down. A power acquired feeding on the innocent, no doubt. Upward to the wall, the view was misleading, the clouds hiding the darkness below. No time for idle thoughts. The chapel awaited. Something else waiting too. Another demon hungry and ready to feast. My blade would oblige. His stench proved worse than his axe. I knew my path ran true as the evil rose to meet me, and so I would meet it, time and again, until the dead returned home. Onward then, into darkness. As I pressed on, I came across a yet living man. Peculiar to be sure, I could feel the light behind his words. He would be a useful ally in the coming journey. Still, he remained untested. I would move ahead and clear the way and save him in reserve. The bridge burst into flame as a drake made his presence known. I'm no dragon slayer, and this beast is merely seeking a meal. Rushing past, I made sure his toll was not exacted. Thankfully, he departed and I came upon the outer grounds of the chapel. Another dark night accosted me, seemingly leadership in this undead army. No matter, all will fall. The next sight caught me by surprise. An armored beast lay ahead, seemingly waiting for me. Wait no more, your day has come. Neither man nor beast will bestill my blade. The chapel grounds were crawling with undead, some waiting in ambush. Just as moths flocked to a flame, the darkness crowded around. I would ensure they all burned in the light. Moving inside, the Protectorate Knights had fallen. A true pity. The pews were disused, the altar holding some body. By God, an arcane caster dropped down from above. Heretic, become one with the dust this day. No magic use in the chapel. A towering knight awaited by the altar. More serious than I expected, but my armor took the hit as designed. Oh, my dear lady, what have they done? I pray thee, give me your guidance that I may banish the darkness from this place. Channel your light into me as I end this night. And behold, I heard her voice echo out to me.
Brave soul who fears not death, your path will take you to where your fight first began. Go to the place where the golem fell by your own hand and be transported to the heart of darkness. Only from there can your light overcome the guises of those that lie with one breath and preach peace with another. Now go, let the bells ring out, fell the guardians to the tower, and let judgment abound.
Felling more nights, I came upon a man locked in a cell. I could feel his dark intentions, the lies in his words. Still, with darkness all around, I had use of his blades. His judgment would come. Upward still, the warrior of light joined me as we headed out onto the roof, to the bell tower, to begin the purge. Evil became corporeal as the gargoyles did turn from their stone. They descended upon us, but soon they would learn they should have remained stone. The beast felled. To the tower I arose. The bell I rung, and the purge begun. To where my fight began, that was her guidance. Onward then, into darkness. "20 years had passed since my trial by fire, the cleansing of sin's fortress that must be completed prior to taking the holy oath. This was where my fight began. I remember it clearly. The fortress was a living death trap. Narrow walkways, weapon-wielding serpents conjured specifically to symbolize sin incarnate. Scythe pendulums. Only those worthy of their holy mantle would survive. Traps awaited the unsuspecting. Every corner hid danger. None of it was as it seemed. My body was bloodied and bruised, yet I continued onward. Ascending to the final test, a spiritual guide joined my side. A golem of iron awaited the paladin hopefuls, fueled by arcane magics. Those that survived took the oath. They left their past behind to become a holy warrior. I earned my name that day. I earned my blade. And so, I returned to the spot, seemingly quiet, betraying the countless lives lost to the induction. Demons! They fell upon me with speed unmatched, and I found myself lifted upwards. Higher still, over the wall to the holy city. Such a sight my eyes had never known. The lady works in mysterious ways, employing demons as a means of guidance. Still, if this is where my journey took me, then I would seek out the council itself. They would know the root of this evil. I came upon a holy warrior at her post. Curious how one such as her would not know of the darkness beyond these walls. Conflicted, I conveyed my earnest to seek the council's guidance. She directed me towards the temple. Heresy! What evil is this within the holy city? Hell must be close to encroach on the holy city like this. So be it. The cleansing will begin. Any guard that turns a blind eye to evil will join that evil in the fire. All it takes for evil to succeed is for righteousness to do nothing. Well, I am here to do something. In a great hall stood a painting commemorating the northern wars of the past. My first assignment as a paladin, back when the plague took the kingdom to the north. Gazing into the painting, I felt myself being pulled into that memory, lost in my thoughts. It was so cold there, in darkness. I was still fresh then, my first war, my blade still new in my hand, my armor unscathed. The cold seeped in through every pore. Still, I walked with purpose. The plague had taken the land. Men became monsters. No scrap of humanity left to redeem. And so I cut them down, one by one, none escaping the edge of my blade. Vicious harpies fed upon the deceased. No rest for the wicked, even in undeath. The infected were cleansed with fire, lest they spread their disease. The rats grew plump on corpses. The stench still haunts my dreams. I pressed on. Some misshapen masses had found weapons and banded together. All animals seek survival. That's what these people had become. Animals. Evil can take any form, a lesson I did not soon forget. The townspeople had become feral, killing off the weak for survival and displaying them. There was nothing here to save, only monsters to purge. A dark being attacked, driven mad by the plague. I put him down, his swollen head finding rest on the ground. I descended into their cistern, afraid of what I might find. When looking for sickness, it's in the gutters you'll find it. What I found was disturbing. Bones clinging to life, their wheels of spikes tearing cloth and flesh. Never had I encountered such creatures, such pure evil hatred, and I pray to never more encounter such a fiend. With a mighty pained roar, even a dragon was consumed by plague. No dragon fighter am I, now nor then, but the stench of plague sealed his end. None could be allowed to escape the purge. Through blade and flame we will eliminate this scourge. To the shrine I headed, though the sick my way cluttered. By my blade they fell. All were cleansed. Within the shrine stood a guardian of the people, though deceived she was. The plague had clouded her eyes to the truth. Her people were mere animals, but no logic could sway her. So be it. We shall converse by blade.
I expected as much from thee. Why dost thee hurry toward thine death?
What a strange sensation, reliving my memory as such. What lesson is to be gained? That none could be saved? As I returned from my thoughts, the feeling did linger. The land was plagued with darkness. None could be saved. My resolve ever strengthened, I headed for the temple. None within would escape the coming flames. If the council could turn a blind eye to the evil before them, then the Inquisition would disperse its judgment. Onward then, into darkness. I ascended the steps to the temple, each one compiling the dread of what I would find. The great hall doors were sealed, the guards readying their arms. Wolves in sheep's clothing, the darkness within unable to hide from my gaze. Evil can take any form, that was my lesson. So be it, none would survive. Demons perched nearby, their flagrant disregard of the temple merely fueling my holy flames. Such insolence, to deface a holy place as such. Darkness had infested the temple. Fallen knights with bows sought to end me. I would be the surgeon to their cancer. Inside, I found the Warrior of Light. Curious how he made it inside. No matter. I would be glad of his help. The halls were crawling with fallen knights, each one dissolving into dark remains. There is magic afoot, the ultimate heresy in a holy place. Inside the chapel, my blood ran cold, the chanting familiar, the stench pervasive. This demon a brother to the one I cleansed all those moons ago. Dangerous as the first, though my experience had grown. Just how deep did this cancer go? For the same evil to be here as it was there more to be known? Had the Holy Army fallen? The Council no more? The main hall had more guards turned dark inside. The Warrior of Light joined me, and we dispatched them with haste. All that remained was the inner temple sanctum, the darkness permeating the very air. I knew to steel myself for a fight. For once, I was truly glad of the support provided by my brother in light. 2 champions of hell awaited within, one a gluttonous executioner, the other his infernal hunter of men. This would be a true test of my skill. So be it. As one fell, the other gained his strength. To fall twice would be his destiny then. No other choice would be offered. At last they lay still. My muscles ached, my body bruised and bloody. No time for rest. The council chamber waited above. I would cleanse it through flame. None could be saved. Inside I found an infernal bride, a false idol sent to seduce and lie. Her words sweet, but it was all a guise. I dispatched the image with holy flame, and a voice rang out.
Thou that tarnisheth the godmother's image, I am Gwyndolin. And thy
This deception revealed, day turned to night. The darkness no longer hiding, no longer betraying the light. With this revelation, my task remained clear. No help would be found, not even here. All would be cleansed to end this plague. None could be saved. Everyone had fallen, the council no more. So be it then. I preferred to be surrounded. I valued its simplicity. Attack in all directions until the light of day. Onward then, into darkness. Fallen knights approached, their forms no longer concealed. All the better fiends, leave your tricks in hell. And lo, before me I found the man of darkness that I had released from his cell. He wished to ensnare me. His judgment would come. He quoted my words against me, a favorite among demons, as Satan often quotes scriptures as well. No more would he live, his compatriots neither. Straight back to hell, no more would they linger. Down the temple steps I found another sinner.
So it was you, was it? How dare you?
The holy guard deceived, her eyes glazed over.
But how?
Following her trail, a tomb was opened. I made my way in, not sure what I'd find. That voice rang out once again, so full of itself. Lies and deception, all trappings of evil. Spouting nonsense, proclaiming false divinity. How far they had fallen.
I am the dark sun, Gwendolyn. Let the atonement for thy felonies commence.
Arcane heretic, full of trickery and wile. You will fall by my hand and I'll make it quick. The heretic felled, I knew not my next move. To the temple altar I traveled, seeking guidance, of course. My prayer heard, the light shone out. A vision clearly formed in my head. To the archives I'd travel, the home of all magics. I'd make them answer for this trickery, and burn it down if required. Judgment would be swift, as none could be found pure. To root out this evil, I would be the cure. Onward then, into darkness. Before me stood another armored boar. The mages were involved far more than I expected. That made things simpler. They would meet their end like the rest. The archives held no interest for a paladin. I'd never been inside, and after today never would again. I should have expected this. These were the creators of Sen's Fortress. Their conjurations and traps were used to test the mightiest of champions. The archives were no different. Men and golems made of crystal, all sharp, all lethal. The casters said not a word in defense. They had no need. We all knew. Today was their day. They all fell. I headed upwards, the head librarian to exterminate. A crystal warrior blocked my way. Unexpectedly formidable, but not enough. Inside the chamber, a dragon awaited. I'd heard tale of this being, this sorcerer supreme. Immediately I became encased in darkness, closed in. No, I would not die. This would not be the end. I awoke in a cell. The fools let me live. Such a mistake they'd learn not to make again. Though they wouldn't have the chance to learn it. The guard fell easily. The door came open. But a call to arms my captors did sound. Experiments more creature than man emerged from their den. Animals, both their creators and them. I worked my way through, sword flashing with light. I shut down the alarm and made my escape. Back in the archives, they attacked me once more. The fools fell just as before. Still, nothing was as it seemed. My induction providing perfect training for such an occasion. The basement held that familiar chill. The chanting and stench I had grown to know well. Another demon, even in this place. The infection had spread, no minor case. opened into forest, denser than I expected. No doubt another arcane creation. The very grass took form and became combative. I cut them down, limb from limb. Another dark night blocked the way. Today would be his final day. Large knights of stone awoke as I passed, fueled by arcane hatred no soul to redeem. Finally, a broken tower I ascended. A winged beast made its way over. To my surprise, an arcane blast did emit. So be it then, another body for the heap. Hard fought, but no match in the end. Time to continue to cleanse the sin. Onward then, into darkness. The steep walls open into a basin. It will be almost peaceful with its waterfall. The crystal golems facing me kinda ruined that. What caught my sight next made me stop and reconsider. Those egotistical mages. What had they done? Did they only ask if they could and not if they should? Fine, so be it. It would die, even if I had to cleave every head from its body. The water finally cleared. I made my way across the bridge. This door held a magical seal, easy enough to dispel. What secrets did they keep locked inside? It was not what I expected. Some kind of arena? A graveyard? I could feel the death of hundreds in this place. Just what sort of monster do they keep locked away? That sword. By God, what a magnificent wolf. I admired his size, though by the hungry look in its eyes I knew this was no pet. Quick, too. It had to be put down. came away with my life, though not unscathed. I found an opening in the wall and took a rest in the shade. Emerging from the undergrowth, the sun beamed high. The monster before me came, eager to die. Another abomination. This one grotesque. Its burning red eyes knew only hunger and pain. Finally it fell. This forest be damned, all its creatures were born of hate. I saw them as I crossed the bridge. More plants with weapons. Had I the time, this whole forest should be razed. Oh good, another dragon. This one dark to the core. I dreaded our next meeting, for it would be the end of one of us. I pressed on. That smell, that dire stench. I knew it once before. Many years ago, when darkness had encroached on the world, I let my memory take me far across the sea, into that memory of darkness. All those years ago, but I still remember the stench. It hung in the air, forced its way into your lungs, made you cough, but there was nothing there. This town started out as a colony, a fresh start for most, but suddenly they were gone, not a word in months. So they sent us in. No one could have known. The whole place was flooded, not naturally either. The water remained dark, no matter the sun. The few people on the bank had gone mad. Their eyes stared off to some far-off land. The breeze carried distant screams. This place was disturbed. We just didn't know. Never before had I encountered wandering spirits. These were hostile, their souls without rest. My blade scattered their forms, their moans echoing their end. What happened here? What evil could this be? The more I searched, the less I found, living at least. Until finally, a sealer. He told his tale. The mages had attempted to harness the dark. The fools were overwhelmed, their souls consumed by their rituals. The city acted quickly and expended their only option. They flooded the city to seal away the dark. Thousands died as the waters rushed in, all because of the arrogance of the mages and their sin. This man was no Noah. The flood was not enough. The dark was still leaking through. He was the last remaining sealer. The rest had been consumed. The dark could not be allowed to siphon away the living. We had to lower the water to repair the seal. If only I had known what lay ahead, we might have kept the bandage in place. But the water came down, uncovered the bodies. But the dark was far stronger than we could have known. Those damn fools. They tore open a breach. Now the darkness encroached on this world. We were being swallowed by the abyss, the source of all darkness. And from that scourge came out wraiths and demons no seal could keep out. The ultimate warriors of dark. They'd steal your soul and skin your corpse. I had to close the breach, but it was too strong. Forces within kept widening the chasm. I had to go in to defeat the advancing throng. Only then could I close it, after righting the wrong. A suicide mission, to be sure. I plunged into the abyss. The 4 fallen kings awaited me there. The battle would take hours, fighting form after form. But I could not falter. I had to see more. long last they faded. The breach I secured. The race locked away. That same stench came to me now. The abyss was coming, waiting to swallow us whole. Into the breach I would charge once again. Onward then, into darkness. The ground itself was falling apart, being swallowed whole by the abyss. Dark deception filled the air. I would have to watch my back. No one could be trusted in the darkness. And just such a man awaited me, his words not hiding his malicious intent.
Well, if you haven't, it's just as well. He's a colorless sort, if you ask me.
I moved ahead and waited out of sight. Not an hour would pass before he came hunting. I would be no trophy. His warning of the Knight Artorias, the Abyss Walker, too, was deceitful. This champion of darkness would nearly take my life. He drew his strength from the Abyss itself. I prayed deeply in thanks. Such a foe was only filled with divine strength. My body would have crumbled without it. The abyss was close. This town was sinking into it. Corruption had taken the people, their heads swelling and sprouting eyes. Darkness is an insatiable hunger. It only consumes, always famished. Crazed laughter carried on the air. There was nothing left here. None could be saved. This dark advance had to be stopped. Onward then. into darkness. A tower nearby held a locked door, as if that would stop me. A giant sat atop, whittling away. He saw me approach, and I heard him say,
"Tomorrow, the black dragon posing the duress? Yes, I thought as much. He's called Calamite. Ferocious dragon indeed. Even mighty Anna Londa dared not provoke his ire. I see little good coming from this, but my intent is to persevere to the bitter end." Good, good. What is bravery without a dash of recklessness? I've taken a liking to thee, and I owe thee much for thy service to Artorias. Now, watch, and see how Goth hunts dragons. Yes. A truer shot was never loosed. That bat will be grounded for a good spell. The rest is in thine hands. I await good tidings. Ah, dragon slaying. Knighthood's highest calling.
No, I'm no knight, no dragon slayer of old. This opportunity to banish a fiend of the abyss could not be passed by. So down into the valley, where that dragon fell. This day, I would become a knight. Its scales would tear against my blade. dragon slain, nothing else stood in my way. Into the town I cut my path, their bodies falling to the side. More enemies laid in hiding. I put them down. None were allowed to live. None could survive. The casters harnessed darkness incarnate, sending it with a laugh, their minds degenerate. Still, no match for my inner light. No projectile of dark would penetrate my might. There, the sanctuary of dark, where the breach had been opened. I strode up the steps and quickly provoked another abomination of night, a beast of sin. My divine energy, it met its end. This was it, the final descent. No more would I see until the rift was sealed. So be it then. I would fight the good fight whether I lived or died. Onward then, into darkness. The abyss loomed close. The chasm grew wider. What fiend awaited me? What champion of the depths? I knew my answers would lie at the bottom of the rift. I did not expect to survive. A small alcove held a wolf surrounded by dark phantoms, akin to the one in the forest, but not yet grown. I dispatched the darkness and it seemed glad. No more distractions. I moved further in. To the precipice I came and stared over the edge. Well, the abyss stared back. Evil reached out and pulled me in. This fight. I gathered all of my light, my only hope to win. And so we fought. The wolf joining my side. So be it then. We'd both fall to the night. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked advance against me to devour me, it is my enemies and my foes who will stumble and fall. Though an army besiege me, my heart will not fear. Though war break out against me, even then I will be confident. My soul finds rest in God alone. My salvation comes from Him. He alone is my rock and salvation. He is my fortress. I will never be shaken. He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. Be strong and bold. Have no fear or dread of them, because it is the Lord your God who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not fail you or forsake you. Do not fear or be dismayed. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith.
Pages of your story remain unwritten, His will still to be done. Fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Brave soul, whom the angel ferryman delivered this day. Your life was lost as you sealed the breach. The abyss halted, but your soul consumed. Your inheritance in paradise awaits atop Mount Purgatory, but your climb has not yet begun. Pages of your story remain unwritten. his will still to be done. Down below in the city of Dis, your soul was captured as it was consumed by the abyss. As Dante before you, into the inferno you must journey. The captor of your soul awaits there burning. Once they've fallen, your life will flourish anew. Take your rest here, of that you are due. Then, with my blessing, depart, and your destiny follow through. None will stand against your beacon of light. Bring an end to those that hide in the night. No flames will take hold, as I have said, so it shall be. They've no claim to your soul. Onward, dear Mordecai, into the darkest sea.
The path ahead sloped downward, my journey into hell beginning. Forsaken souls begged for death from the ground, their backs sprouting egg sacs. I'd never imagined such horrors, not in my darkest of nightmares. This was the least of the evil I would find here. Down the steps the fiend crawled, some mating of succubus, spider, and fire I saw. She attacked quickly, her form spewing flames. The hellfire in my form withstood, just as the angel had claimed. Newfound confidence swelled within. This was a fight I knew I could win. Onward then. The nest of the creature held a bell tower, no doubt the hellish farce of a chapel above. Still, the irony not lost on me. I rang the bell to signal to all therein. I had come to reclaim my soul. Let the purge begin. In what would be the chapel proper, awaited the demon of this place, whose womb filled men with disgrace. I put her to the sword, her existence no more. No doubt her hatchlings would take her place as I left. The air turned red, nothing to breathe but fumes. The cavern opened up and demonic songs carried across the lake of fire. Cascading over the edge, this formed a moat for the city of Dis. Something loomed across the way. If I were to progress, its death would surely be today. Its form became clear as I neared. Molten rock seeped from its sores, the very source for the lake in which it waited. To me, it paid no mind, strange as my form was divine. For it stared off to a nearby altar. Perhaps this was the resting place of Bloody Mary herself. When I approached, it became angered. Its apparent guard had sought to rift me asunder. Such a creature of size, this was not something I could face head on. I headed back to gain some space. There, where the flow cascaded down, I'd make my stand here, as it could not get near. Rage blinded it so, it left the gap. That fool. I sunk my blade into its arm time and again, and its grip did loose. Down into the chasm it fell, with a scream of rage. The lake began to drain, its source no more. The steps to Dis became clear. Onward then, into darkness. I had gained their attention. Droves of demons rushed forth in defense. One by one they would learn their mistake immense. Some had weapons wrapped in thorns, much like the ones our Lord had adorned. dark hunter came from behind. My divine soul has objective to find. He fell like the rest. None would stop me, no matter the number beset. Fell. I moved ahead. Statues breathe fire, animated by hatred. No matter, my light would not be sated. Down the steps into Dis, the infernal city, more demons and worms rushing forward in defense. My soul's captor resided within. Onward and inward, then. Through the doorway, the defender was familiar, akin to the demon below my old keep. The flames were new, pervading theme of hell. Still, just as easy to fell. Onward then, into darkness. I descended the steps, with each one the heat increasing. No doubt a fiend at the bottom awaited. But lo, there stood a friend instead. The warrior of light shone bright, the first sign of day and night. What mysterious ways our Lord does work, but a welcome ally to be sure. As an abomination we did woke. centipede of fire burned with ire, yet on two legs it stood, its eyes burning red as it walked towards its fighters. The celebrations were short. The warrior of light, his soul consumed too, came here in search, but he was unsuccessful in his endeavors. His mind was fading, too long departed from his soul. Such a terrible telling of my future, were I not hurried. The path ahead was more flame than ground. It did not consume me, though I did sustain wounds. The inner sanctum of Dis was surrounded by such flame, within which abominations ambled, living out their days. So that was its purpose, this keeper of souls. It fed on their power to create life, as a mockery of God. But corrupted were its creations, all malformed and horrid. My blade would be its end. No more creatures of sin. More statues awaited within, trinkets of this vile master of darkness. Along with creatures so grotesque, no mind could conceive. The bridge to the fiend's lair. I should have known another demon would be sitting there. So be it. Another of its kind to destroy. The great doors awaited up ahead, but so too did a former friend, the warrior of light, his mind fully consumed. A maggot crested his forehead, feasting on the last of his light. God give him rest. He deserved more than this end. I'd make it quick, no more suffering, my friend. It was an honor to fight by your side. Rest now, my friend. Your eternal flame will never end. It was a downward slide into the fiend's lair. It rose huge in the room. 2 collections of souls flanking its sides, feeding on them. With such a source, it would be too strong. I had to separate the meal from its glut. My plan it did know quickly. With burning rage it set about destroying me.